Hiya, hiya. I have a question. If you have the most beautiful woman in the world as a wife, and you had all your kids in a good place, and you had all the money you ever needed, and the use of anything on this planet that we make at any time, would you want to be president? I think you already won. This is like a bad game, where you won Park Place and Boardwalk, but all of a sudden now you want to own the whole board, right? Now, if you own the whole board, you're going to get stuck with Baltimore and Oreo or whatever those other streets that nobody wants on Monopoly. You played that game before, haven't you? You go to jail, collect $200. Would you be playing that? No. I want to see Nancy Pelosi and Donald Trump on pay-per-view. Actually, they belong, because they're both two media hounds, they belong, this judgment and fight ought to be on Judge Judy and have a good settlement. And then we'll have Dr. Oz, because one of them is going to have a heart attack. And then we have the other one, too, Dr. Phil, who can psychologically tell him how screwed up he's been, so they might relate to how screwed up they are. It's a media feeding. Hungry. But that's the world we live in right now. And why would there be a line to climb to your death? Mount Everest. Did you see that? The traffic jams that we used to have here are now taking place in the Himalayas and going all the way up to what is it, the highest point in the world? And then you're going to look out and say, oh, okay. What are you going to see? I mean, you've gone to high buildings like the Empire State Building, maybe, or World Trade Center in New York, which, incidentally, going on the subway every day is like climbing Mount Everest. If you have to take a train, going to Queens and in the borough of New York, that's climbing Mount Everest when you make it, or the Bronx. That's climbing the mountain. But anyway, there's a big traffic jam going up there. And the wall, the wall that the president wants to put up with aggravating China like this, they're gonna want us. They have the wall already built. They're gonna start charging us to go over the wall or to go through it because we're having a fight with them right now. We're arguing with China. Are we ever gonna mind our own business? Or is this our business? I don't know. It seems to be that we have our nose in everybody else's business. And when people mind their own business, news is scarce. And that's what we're doing. We're living in a news culture and a celebrity culture, living vicariously through these stars that you don't have dinner with, you don't know. Do you care that Aladdin makes a lot of money at the box office this week? What is that going to do with your life? Are you going to rub the magic lamp 3 times? You're going to wind up with those 20 or 40 virgins? Wait a minute, that's the wrong religion. Anyhow, it's amazing how we get our nose into everybody else's business. And I want to mention WPLJ in New York, which is a fine FM radio station for a number of years, was sold to a Christian group, WPLJ. We the people love Jesus, PLJ. I think that's probably the call letters. Anyway, they're not going to keep the call letters. But WPLJ is off the air as an owned station by a company that's bankrupt and is disposing themselves of properties. Same as iHeart. They're bankrupt. But, they're not going to talk about it because then they ruin their game, which is to make commercials available for a political campaign 2 years before the election. And you know what? This is amazing. People running for office, first of all, have to buy the time. And that's how they make their money on the radio and TV for the next couple of years. So they love having a long election warm-up. And this other thing is that it doesn't have to show results, because when you buy political time, you don't know how you've impacted the vote. You don't know how you've influenced people, so you get no results. Same with Trivago, they don't really know, and Geico and pharmaceuticals, they don't know how much results they're bringing. But if you have a store in the mall and you are advertising and there's nobody coming in, you're going to get rid of the commercials. You're going to stop the time. But that's what's happening. It's a game. It's a media game. See, they don't want to tell you all this stuff because they're making a lot of money. And it's a dead medium because most people don't watch TV anyway. They watch this. And most people, you notice that I'm up to 14 views. I'm doing very well. If you can get a family member to watch your selfie, you're in. It's a Reynolds Rap.